Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today we are getting into the to pull or not to pull for the new Dragon Quest collaboration banner. It is a double banner, guys, and honestly, everything looks frickin' amazing. You know, this is a really hard one to, kind of try to lead you guys into which is the right choice to make, because honestly it's super tricky all around. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to take a look at this entire banner. We're going to look at the stamp cards, we're going to look at the costumes, we're going to look at the weapons, we're going to talk about what's coming, and then I'm going to give my overall thoughts on everything as it is right now. I will preface this with I will most likely skip this banner, as the most important thing to me, guys, out of anything in Ever Crisis right now is getting Cloud's ultimate weapon come the anniversary, and that is going to cost 90,000 crystals, worst case scenario. So I'm not the type of person who's going to roll the dice on something like that. I'm getting that frickin' ultimate weapon no matter what. So it's really important to me that I do. But that being said, this is a really cool banner. The whole thing is awesome. So let's just check this out. We're going to go through it one thing at a time. So let's check out the actual animations. Cloud's is super frickin' cool. All right, here we go. Boom. That is I love blade beams in general. I've just always thought it was a super sick weapon mechanic. I think it looks cool, and his is so awesome, right? We'll go back and we'll take a look at Aerith, since I was just like fanboying on Cloud's. Yeah, hers is pretty sick too. Not as cool, but still pretty sick. Now let's take a look at the costumes themselves. All right, so we're going to hide the UI. We're going to take a look at Cloud. First thing I love about this is it's like super classic knight, right? I mean, other than like the missing helmet, which Cloud wouldn't be rocking anyway because of his gorgeous blonde hair, like, I'm loving everything about it. I love the navy blue. I love like the tassel in front right here. The armor, it kind of has like a little bit of a samurai vibe right here on the legs, but then it has that classic knight style as well, along with the sword, which I also think is super cool. I like the engraving. I like the gold inlay in the middle right here. Looks like an extremely heavy guard, which I feel like, but it's a buster sword for Cloud, so it's gonna be like that no matter what. But honestly, I really like this costume. I think it's pretty sick. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 for the costume. Now let's go over and look at Aerith's right here. Aerith's I actually gotta give a 10 out of 10. Like, she just looks too freaking cute not to just have a perfect score on this costume. It's so simple too. I love the simplicity of it, and I love that it looks like she's just, I don't even know what that is. It looks like a Viking mug, that's like stuck to the end of her staff, that she's like sealed off on the top and poured in lead and like ready to go. But I love it. I love the teal cape, the white dress, the gloves right here. I think her boots are like super cool. Like, those are sick boots. So honestly, all around, the tiara on the forehead right here just looks amazing. So the costumes, a 9 out of 10, a 10 out of 10. Super cool all around. So actually, let's start with Aerith right here. All right, we'll go through Aerith first, and then we'll end with Cloud. All right, so here's going to be her costume, the Supreme Sage Garb. All right, we have Sage's Wisdom, which is going to give you healing potency plus 15%, and physical and magic defense plus 15%. All right, so I love that R ability. It's super all around. It's good. It's nothing completely crazy, but all around it's good. And then we have Boost HP all allies. Whoa, that's a new one. All right, so that's 5 points. This is going to give all allies HP plus 25 and 7% HP boost. This is a R ability we have not seen at all so far in the game, and HP is something that is sorely needed on some stages. You guys know what I'm talking about. So that is really cool. Honestly, oh man, I wish I could get it. All right, so I would say that just like for like the rarity of the costume having an HP all, now that it's in the game, like, don't get too much FOMO. There's going to be an HP all costume again sometime in the future. Will it come out on Aerith, who it's super like important to have? Who knows? Probably, but we don't know when. Now let's take a look at the weapon right here. All right, so we have the Supreme Sage's Staff. All right, deals 580% magic non-elemental damage to all enemies. Also deals 40,000 additional non-elemental magic potency damage to all enemies. 40,000 at OB1. That is insane. Also, when HP is 70% or more, applies exploit weakness to all allies. So Red 13 got this on his ultimate weapon. She's getting it on a regular weapon. Potency 20% and 35-second duration. It decreases the summon gauge by 100%. Okay. Now, that is a little confusing, and I hope some of you guys can help me out there that have pulled for this weapon, because if it decreases the gauge by 100%, does it have to be at 100% in order to use this weapon? I mean, this is a pretty massive 40,000. I mean, that's just OB1. OB10, it's dealing 80,000 additional non-elemental magic potency damage, which is twice what like the Bahamut Greatsword or weapons like that are going to do. It's twice as much, guys. Plus, it's going to give exploit weakness for a duration of 60 seconds with a potency 30%. I'm guessing that this weapon can only be cast when your summon gauge is full. So you build up your summon gauge, you get an all allies exploit weakness, a huge 80,000 additional non-elemental damage, and you get the 890% magic non-elemental damage against all enemies. So that would be my guess, is that it takes a full summon gauge to use this weapon. It doesn't really make sense that, like, let's say you had 27% of the gauge filled, and then it would just use your gauge. It just would keep using the gauge over and over. I don't know. It's hard to say how this weapon works without actually being able to try it. It's not exactly clear, but hopefully whoever of you guys pulls can let us know in the comments how this works. Is it a single per cast per summon gauge, or does it just keep depleting the summon gauge over time? It's hard to say. Alright, now let's take a look at the other R abilities on the weapon. We have HP and healing, support abilities, magic attack boost, heal boost, and cure all right here. So a lot of good stuff. The only thing it's really missing is like the Asuna. But this looks like a quick nuke weapon with exploit weakness. Super interesting weapon, guys. Very interesting weapon. I feel like this weapon could be used at OB1. Like, if you guys wanted to pull and get a single copy of this weapon, I still think that it would be viable. Like OB1 level 130, HP 32 over 24 on the R abilities, not terrible. Super hard fights, you're gonna feel the R abilities, we always do, but you get the exploit weakness all allies. It's 20%, which is only 10% less than max, right? And OB6, actually OB6 goes 20%. Last 35 seconds, you know, so you would still have a AoE exploit weakness weapon that would do the 40,000 additional damage. So this weapon does strike me as something that could be used beneath OB, 6. I could see a argument for pulling for this below OB1, just going to the costume and getting the weapon. I could definitely see an argument for that, and I think that I could potentially do some type of pull like that this month. We'll just have to see. Alright, so taking it to OB6, 638 magic attack. The damage will go from 580 to 750% all enemies, with an additional 60,000 instead of 40,000. The potency on the HP, or the threshold, does not change. The exploit weakness does go from 20 to 30%. The duration up 10 seconds as well. And the R abilities jump, but not drastically. It's still 40 over 40, which is really good. Alright. Then last but not least, we take a look at it. OB10, 696 magic attack, goes from 780 to 890% magic non-elemental damage, 60,000 to 80,000 additional non-elemental magic potency damage. The threshold does not change, 70% or more, alright, which can be tricky, guys. Remember that. That can be tricky. I like a 50% threshold. I've never been a big fan of the 70. The exploit weakness potency does not change. The duration, however, goes up 15 seconds from 45 seconds to 60 seconds, which is a pretty huge increase, almost twice as much from OB1, guys. Alright, so it's a very powerful weapon. And then the final R abilities, HP 46 over healing, 56 in the second slot. So this would have been a 46 over 52, but because of the 130, the second R ability is getting a 4-point boost. So honestly, very good weapon. Then you get the all cure in the third slot, great. The single target heal, also great, and the magic attack boost. So you could put this in the main hand, and it's pretty phenomenal. This is definitely going to allow main DPS characters to not have to slot an exploit weakness in their offhand and go ahead and start doing damage. So I'm guessing we're going to get some type of new offhand style weapon for our main DPSs. You know, probably, yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. Like, Cloud's new weapon with Enfeeble, if they gave him a stronger lightning weapon in the future, would be a great offhand for that, I feel like. So maybe that's the direction they're going. So I do feel like Aerith is a little bit more approachable just because I feel like the weapon is viable at OB1. The costume is also awesome. HP all allies is super rare. There's only one of it in the game right now. And so Aerith's side of the banner seems more inviting to me than Cloud's. Now, the reason that I say that, guys, is because this is a crossover collab, and when pulling for a main hand DPS weapon, which as of right now, when you look at physical lightning in the game, I consider this a main DPS, like a new meta for physical lightning, right? So I think that, like, how can you put it? All right, so basically what I'm trying to say is that for collab DPS weapons, I'm never going to not pull to OB10. I really find it hard to convince myself to go in on a DPS weapon that I'm not going to be able to get to OB10. I feel like support weapons, in a lot of ways, we can cheat it. Sometimes you can deal with it at OB1. Sometimes you can make it work at OB6. A lot of times you can make it work at OB6, especially with support weapons. But DPS weapons, I feel like they really just don't hit home until you hit OB10. However, that makes Cloud extremely expensive on this banner, right? On top of that, Cloud's ultimate weapon is likely going to drop in September for him, which means he's also likely going to get some type of new banner. Now, if we're going in on Cloud in August, we're trying to get OB10, that sounds to me like we're burning a lot of crystals, and it also sounds like we're going to be using a lot of Cloud's weapon parts, which is going to leave us high and dry in the next month to come. So that is my main reservation on Cloud, which is essentially focuses around getting his ultimate weapon, right? If you like hold up this costume and weapon set, right, and put it on a scale, hold on one second, I'm gonna drink some tea. If you hold up this set right here and put the ultimate weapon on the scale from the anniversary, to me, the ultimate weapon is going to tip it every single time. The ultimate weapon is going to make him stronger in every capacity. This is going to make him stronger in terms of physical lightning. So just keep that in mind, guys. That's what we're comparing it to right now. Because you got to remember, this is Cloud. You want to have that 90K to spend in September. And so they're doing everything they can right now to get us to drop our crystals before September, because whatever is going to happen then, I'm guessing, is going to be huge. If I really had to guess, and this is slight tangent over to the side, I would say that we will finally get light and dark elements. That's going to be my guess. I feel like that is how they can really hype things back up. And so if Cloud got a dark or a light element costume for the anniversary, guys, I mean, come on. Like, that just sounds so sick. All right. So let's go in. Let's check out this armor. All right, so boost lightning potency right here. Okay, it's going to be 15 points. That is 25%. Okay, so it's a little bit lower than usual. And then we have Hero's Aura. Love the name of the R ability. All right. Lightning ability damage plus 30% on top of the 25%, and attack stance command gauge max ability damage plus 20%, and HP plus 15%. Guys, 10 out of 10 costume. This is insane. This is so good. The costume is so good, especially for Lightning Cloud, which is, you know, it was the first element of his in the game. It's so nostalgic. Like, I'm so tempted. I love the costume, but I just feel like I would just get absolutely wrecked if I went for it. I'm like so hesitant, but it really is good. I'm so excited for all of you guys that are going to be pulling this, but I do not recommend going for this if you cannot go for at least OB6, guys. It's a DPS weapon. You don't want an OB1 DPS weapon. It is not going to be worth it unless you are just a collector and you're not interested in clearing content really, whatsoever, right? At least any type of hard content. But this costume, 10 out of 10 in terms of stats. Now let's look at the sword, all right? All right, so OB1, physical attack 411. We have Giga Slash right here, 470% physical lightning damage against all enemies. Against a single target, it'll be 1.5, so that's like, what, 235, so 670, so 705. 705% physical lightning damage against a single target at OB1, which is pretty basically at OB1, this power creeps Murasame. So maybe there is an argument for going to OB1. I think that it's not going to hold up for sure in hard content anyway, but if you wanted a slight power creep against Murasame, it does look like this does it, especially when paired with the costume, especially when given the status ailment Enfeeble right here, alright? So all enemies right here, duration 25 seconds. Just a very strong, plus magic attack break as well when HP is 70% or more. It's low to mid at OB1. Thank God it's not low to low. If I saw low to low ever again, I'm gonna like send a detonating paper airplane flying across the world to their headquarters and. Anyway, sorry. All right, so our abilities right here: physical attack, lightning potency, double physical attack on the support abilities, and then a circle sigil boost right here. Alright, the R abilities, from what I remember from my patch updates, are super good at max level. So let's take it to OB6. Alright, OB6, 646 physical attack. We get 610% physical lightning damage right here against all enemies, and then against a single target times 1.5 damage, alright? So that's going to add 305% to this, so it's going to be 915% at OB6, which is pretty solid. If you take away the costume, you take away the Enfeeble, Zack's physical lightning setup from Zinogre is still better, but Cloud does power creep him at OB6, when you include the Enfeeble and the costume. So even at OB6, Cloud has now retaken the throne of best physical lightning DPS in the game. Alright, the threshold, 70% or more, still does not change. Magic attack is decreased, but it is mid to high at OB6, which is very nice to see. Honestly, it's very nice to see. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. All right, I'm starting to realize that there is more of an argument for not going to OB10 necessarily. All right, necessarily, guys, necessarily. All right, so then we have our abilities at OB6: 54 physical attack, super strong, lightning potency 30. Right, so very good. All right, now let's take a look. All right, the final threshold here, OB10. Okay, the physical lightning damage is going to go up to 720% from 610%, so not a drastic jump right there. All right, the single target damage is going to be 360 plus 720, so about, let's see, that's 1020, 1080, 1080%. So pretty dang strong, guys. It's going to be a very powerful weapon. Not quite as powerful as some of the other ones, but still it's very close, and I still think it's going to be extremely powerful. Super cool weapon. Honestly, really liking everything about it. Our abilities from OB6 to OB10 go 62 over 42, which we had 54 over 30 to 62 over 42. So all in all, pretty solid, guys. Honestly, I feel like, let's see how long. All right, let's see how long. The banner goes until September 6th, the day before the anniversary. All right, so we have a lot of time to figure this out. We have 5 weeks to figure this out. Okay, it's literally still July. All right, we got to make it through August. So first off, there's no rush. Don't rush through anything, guys. Sephiroth is also coming out with his, and if you saw that little icon in my patch updates video, there was a little picture of Zack in some type of full-blown silver armor. So that is going to be pretty sick too, and I bet Zack is going to be super strong. Alright, so Zack might actually get his fire weapon after all. We'll just have to see. So, alright, what's the last thing we need to see here? The stamp card. Okay, alright, that's actually new. I was really hoping for like every 2 stamps we would get a guaranteed weapon. I feel like if they did that for collabs, I feel like they would honestly sell more. Personally, if they did that. Because People see the stamps. Every 2 stamps you get a guaranteed weapon. Everyone can have fun, even if you only have a little amount of crystals. People are trying to get something. They want to have a part of the collaboration. But when it's more spread out, it's harder. We're forced to think, and when we're forced to think, most of the time, our thought process leads us to maybe it's better to save. Most of the time, not always. All right. So it does look like pretty standard. We are going to get an extra attacker's memory times 48 and extra healer memory times 48 as well on the first page. Okay, honestly, I don't think that they're like something crazy. They slowly come over time, and everyone's going to fully build their characters eventually, so it's not like a game changer. You get 2 guaranteed weapons, so you'll basically get a guaranteed OB1 and a costume. You could go for Aerith, or you could go for Cloud. At this point, I would say if you're going for OB1, I would go for Aerith, for sure. If you're going for OB6, I feel like it just depends on your choice of character. Do you like Cloud more? Do you like Aerith more? And I think at OB10, Cloud is going to be pretty memorable, guys. So, but yeah, pretty standard banner right here. I'm definitely going to be waiting. I'm not jumping on anything, guys. I'm a patient person. You know, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see. I'm going to look at all the banners. I'm going to see how, if this goes till September 6th, I could literally wait until September 6th, see exactly how many crystals I have, and then make a more calculated and educated choice on whether or not I want to use those crystals right before the anniversary. We don't know how many crystals we're going to get in the next 5 weeks, so if there's no rush, better safe than sorry. So honestly, guys, that is my overview of the banner. I hope that this helped you. I know that this one was definitely a little bit harder. I didn't want to make like any like yes, go pull for it, or no, don't go pull for it. I just wanted to give you guys kind of my thought perspective on the whole banner, how I'm looking at it, and hopefully that information can help you guys make a choice. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys are looking for joining a guild, we do have a couple guilds recruiting: Odin, Kujata, top 30, top 15, and you know, it's a great community space. I've had a lovely time doing it so far, so we would love to have you. If you're a new player, come join the Discord, link in the description of the video. And if you guys are pulling, I wish you guys the best of luck. If you enjoyed this video today, please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis content. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.